In this mini lesson, we'll be solving a system of equations by substitution. So remember, the word substitution means to put in place of. So let's look at the first equations that we're going to be solving by substitution. So we have 4x plus 3y is equal to 18. That's the first equation. And the second equation, y is equal to 2. So it is best to solve this system of equations by using substitution. And we'll go ahead and do that now. So we have 4x plus 3y equals 18 and y equals 2. What we want to do is we want to substitute in that first equation. We want to substitute 2 in for y. So wherever there's a y at, we're going to substitute 2. So we only have one y, which is next to 3, which is being multiplied times 3. So we should substitute the 2 inside or in place of the y. So if we rewrite it, 4x plus 3, that y now becomes 2 because y is equal to 2. So it's 3 times 2. And we must put a symbol there to represent that we're multiplying times 2. We just can't put a 2 next to the 3 because it just becomes 32. We want to go ahead and put a symbol there. So what I'll use is parentheses to represent that we're multiplying times 2. And this will be equal to 18. So now once we've done that, we go ahead and follow the order of operations. We multiply. In this case, we'll have to multiply first and then add or subtract second, and maybe even divide if we need to at the end. So we have 4x plus 3 times 2 is equal to 18. So first, we need to go ahead and multiply 3 times 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. Bring the 4x down. 4x plus 6 is equal to 18. The next step is to subtract 6 from both sides. Subtract 6. And then we're left with 4x is equal to 12. These two 6's are going to cancel out each other. The next step is to solve for x. Since we're multiplying 4 times x, that means we have to use the inverse operation, which is division. Multiply, the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So divide both sides of the equation by 4, and we're going to be left with x is equal to 3. So since we have x is equal to 3, now we can go back and use substitution once again to find out what y is equal to. So we'll go back to the two original equations, and what we can do here is, let's see here, we have x is equal to 3. We'll go back into the original equation where 4x plus 3y equals 18, and then we'll substitute. We will substitute the 3 in for x to find out what y is equal to. So let's move over and let's do it. So 4 times 3 plus 2y, or was it 3y? We'll check that there. Yes, 3y. So we don't want to make that mistake and put the wrong number. So it'll be 3 times y, and that will be equal to 18. All right, so we'll go through the steps of solving now. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3y is equal to 18. Subtract 12 from both sides, and we'll have 3y is equal to, let's see here, we'll have 3y. 3y is equal to 18 minus 12, which is 6. Divide both sides by 3. And we'll get y is going to be equal to 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So our ordered pair, or where these lines intersect at, is at where these two equations intersect at is at x equals 3 and y equals 2. And that ordered pair looks like this. All right, so if we were to see this on the graph, if we were to graph this, we should get the same answer. So let's see what it looks like graphically on a graphing calculator. So 4x plus 3y equals 18 is already here. This is the red line here that we have. We can see that it crosses the x-axis at 4.5 or 4.5. It crosses the y-axis at 6. But we want to know where these two lines intersect at. So we're going to put the second equation in, which was y equals 2. Y equals 2. And then we're going to take this point here, point A, and we're going to put point A where the red and this red and purple line intersects at, just to see if those points match up to the equations that we have. So we should have x equals 3 and y equals 2. So if we go right here, we'll see that the point, I'll move the point again. This point is 3, 2, just as in when we solve the equations, when we solve the system of equations using substitution. Okay, now let's try one more. And this system of equation this time, we won't have we will have to do a little bit extra work with this one because it's just not y is equal to some number, just like in this equation. Y is just not equal to 2. So let's move around and look down here. So y is actually equal to x minus 1 here. So there's just a few extra steps, but it can be solved easily. And let's go through that now. So we have 2x minus 3y equals -1. Our first equation. Our second equation is y equals x minus 1. Let's take the first equation and work with that. So we have 2x is equal to 3. No, we don't have it equal to. It's minus 3. So let's go back and take that equal sign out of there. So minus 3. And now I'm going to substitute y for x minus 1. So y becomes x minus 1. So it's now 3 times x minus 1. And that's going to be equal to a -1, just like we had in the original or the first equation. All right, now we can go ahead and solve here. Using the distributive property first, 3 times, or a -3 times x is going to give us a -3x. And a -3 times -1 is a +1. And that's going to be equal to a -1. All right, now we'll take 2x minus 3x. 2 minus 3 gives us a -x, or -1x. And -1x plus 1 is equal to a -1. The next step is to get rid of the +1 by subtracting 1 from it. So we subtract 1 from 1, and we're going to subtract 1 from -1. And we'll have -x is equal to a -2. And we cannot leave that x as a negative, so that's a -1 times x. So that means we must divide both sides by -1. Divide both sides by -1. And our answer for our x is equal to 2. -2 divided by -1 is 2. Now to find y, of course, we must take that x equals 2 and substitute it back into one of the two original equations. And since the second equation, y equals x minus 1, is a little bit simpler, doesn't have a lot of steps, guess what? I'm going to substitute the 2 into the second equation. That was going to save me some time. I would get the same answer if I substituted it into the first equation. But we don't want to do too many steps unless we want to challenge ourselves. So let's see. Y is equal to, and what was x equal to again? It was equal to 2. So y is equal to 2 minus 1. We just substitute the 2 in for x. And so our y is actually 1. So we have an ordered pair of I'm going to put this in green. The ordered pair of 2, 1. This is where these two lines or these two equations where they would intersect each other. So now if we want to see this graphically, of course we can graph it. So we have these two equations that we need to graph now, and let's see what we have when we do it. Let's see if our answer actually comes out to be, see here, I'll go back to the actual graph. See, wait, see. All right. Okay. And here's our graphing calculator. And let's see. We're going to actually put these equations in now. I'm going to get rid of that point. I don't have that point anymore. And we'll get the point later. So our first equation was, see here. The first equation was 2x minus 3y. 2x minus 3y equals 1. So that's in the blue. And the second equation was y equals x minus 1. Okay, now we can use the point, and I'm going to pull out the point here to see where these lines intersect and see if it matches up with our answer. Remember, our answer was 2, 1. And now we can use the point to see if they actually match up, if this actually matches up with our answer. See here. All right, here's the point. We move it. And there's the point where it's at. And as you can see right here, a equals 2, 1. This is where these two equations intersect each other. All right, so this has been a mini lesson on solving a system equation using substitution. Stay tuned for more coming forward.